Hi guys, welcome to my channel. On today's episode of From One Beginner to Another, I want to talk to you guys about makeup game changers. Now, game changers to me are any type of item, a product, technique, anything that you have found that has completely changed your makeup game. Anything that after you had it, you were like, what? I mean, how did I even... What is life? You know, I mean, it's those items, it's those techniques, it's those processes that you find, and it's just like, oh, the heavens open up, the light shines down, and there's unicorn rainbows. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, the true definition of what a game changer is a newly introduced element or factor that changes an existing situation or activity in a significant way. That's it. Right there. Right there. So now as a beginner, I actually have plenty of those in the form of products and in application tools, and I thought it would be easier to kind of split the two up and just kind of focus on one section per video. So today we're going to talk specifically about makeup game changers that are tools or application processes or things like that that have really helped me improve. They've either made me faster, they've either made me better, or all around just significantly better than I was in the beginning. So I'm going to talk about all the products, no particular order, and I'm going to have links for all of them down below. So if you're interested in them and you kind of just want to get a starting point, then definitely check those out and go from there. Alright, so let's jump into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is a beauty sponge. Now, I know I'm definitely tardy to the party when it comes to the beauty sponge, and I think the reason why I was just so against buying a beauty sponge is because the first one you ever heard about was the Beauty Blender, and y'all, I could not wrap my head around paying $20 for a sponge. Now, I know I have heard that it is definitely worth the money, but I'll be honest with y'all, dropping $20 on a sponge, just, I couldn't fathom it. But now there are so many different options out there. I mean, drugstore high-end, there's just so many different options out there, and you don't have to break the bank to get what you need. And this one that I actually have is the BH Cosmetics Beauty Sponge. I actually have 3 of these. And on the website, depending on what was going on, they normally cost me around $5. Love, love, love this sponge. I absolutely love it. What I love about it in particular is that once you wet it and drain out all that water, it gets so squishy. It's so bouncy, so squishy. It's just so comfortable on the skin. And then what I love is you have this flat part right here that covers a large amount of canvas. So I will say the beauty sponge takes me a little bit longer to use than a brush, but the finished application, I think it just gives you a more natural, a more skin-like finish. And even though using a beauty sponge will, in my experience, shear out the application, so you're going to get a lighter coverage, I still think it just blends into your skin so smoothly, so flawlessly. Just the overall look is more of a your skin but better type of situation. And then not only is the flat part fantastic, but then you also have this tip right here that is absolutely perfect for getting right into those corners and those crevices and just making sure that the whole entire look is blended in quite nicely. So the beauty sponge, in my opinion, does not replace a brush, but there are certain times when this looks better than the brush. I say just get it. It's definitely a game changer. You definitely want one of these, regardless of the brand, in your makeup arsenal. Now the next product I'm going to talk about is a stipple brush. Now, a stipple brush, as you can see, most of the time they do look like this. They have the darker bristles than the lighter bristles, and as you can see that it's not a very densely packed brush. Like, there's lots of room in there. If you look, you see how you can look in there and you can see the black, which lets you know this is not a densely packed brush. And what I like about it is if you can see that the black bristles are a little bit thicker, and then the white ones are a little bit more shallow. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Shallow. And as you can see, it does have some movement. You know, it's not stiff, it does have some movement there. What I love about these brushes, I used to try to use these for foundation applications, and I didn't at the end of the day like the way it looked. What I found that the best use for this is applying setting powder. I love just at the end of my makeup routine, right before I use my setting spray, I like to take a setting powder, which right now is the L'Oreal Pro Matte. I like to dip my brush in it, tap it off, and then I like to just swirl around my face. And I'm telling you guys, it just blends everything in. It just blends in my foundation, it just blends in my blush, it blends in everything, and it just gives me this nice overall finish. So I don't necessarily have blush, foundation, highlighter, I don't have those harsh lines. Everything just looks smoothly blended in, and because this is such a shallow brush, it's not so densely packed, I'm not getting a very intense application, and it gives me just a nice overall look that I absolutely love. So get your hands on one of these, I'm telling you, get one. The next brush I'm going to talk about is the angled brush. Now, what I have found about these brushes is that the key to finding the perfect angle brush is how fine it is, how thin it is. I have several of these that are actually quite thick, and so even though they've got this nice angle, because they are thicker, whenever I try to use it for, like, say my eyeliner or even my brows, because the brush is so thick, so still angled, still precise, but the bristles are so thick, I end up starting with a very thick liner line. And if you're like me, whenever you start off with your eyeliner, you actually want to start it off as thin as you can get it, because what ends up happening is as I'm cleaning or as I'm connecting, I end up having to go higher and higher to make everything look nice and seamless. And if I start off with too thick of a line, depending on the angled brush, then by the time I'm done, I've got eyeliner that looks like this, and it's absolutely huge and you can't see anything else. So having a very fine, a very thin angled brush is the key, because it's absolutely fantastic for putting on that eyeliner, and it also is fantastic for applying your brow product, because if you're like me, I have eyebrows right here. That's the only part of my brow that actually has realistic brows that are their own. At the tip and at the beginning, it's very sparse, so that's where I'm having to go in and literally create brows. And whenever you use an angled liner or an angled brush that's very thick, you're not going to get those nice realistic strokes that you're trying to imitate hair. You're going to get these fat chunky marks that once you're done, they don't look like they're in a type of it almost just kind of blends out, and it still looks good, but to me, I like the realistic look that actually having a fine one does with the brush stroke. So definitely get you one of these, because it works on your brows and on your eyeliner, but the key is getting a very thin and precise one. This one right here is from BH Cosmetics, and actually, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, this came in one of those free kits that you got if you spent so much money, you ended up getting a free kit, and that's what this came in. But I actually have found 2 other angled brushes on BH Cosmetics website that I will link below, and I think they'll be perfect. So a very fine, precise angled brush. Now the next brushes I'm going to talk about, I hope my descriptions do them justice, because I don't know the actual name, because both of the ones I'm about to show you have different names here. The brush I'm talking about is a flat yet fluffy crease brush, and the 2 I have here, this is the Sedona Lace EB09, that's what this one is, and then this one right here is the e.l.f. Let's see, the e.l.f. crease, well, no, the e.l.f. blender brush. Now, I apologize, I actually used this in the demonstration that I'm going to show you guys today. That's why it's a little bit dirty. But as you can see, both of these brushes, very flat, almost like a shader brush flat. But then when you look at it from this perspective, you see that it's fluffy. That is the key. These brushes, in my opinion, are absolutely perfect because they apply color right there in your crease, not a fine line, because I'm not trying to cut my crease, but they apply color fantastically in there. They just fit right in the socket. Then you just blend that out on windshield wiper motions, and it just gives you just a nice application of color. And it's very compact. It doesn't cover a lot of canvas. It's very compact. So you're putting that on to get it just kind of blended out. And then, if you're looking for just a little bit higher wash of color, you turn this, you turn it that way right here, and then go right back in that crease, and it just blows it out. Just gives you just a little bit more wash of color, covers just a little bit more canvas, but it's still controlled. And these are so perfect because they just fit right in that crease. Wash, 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 turn, wash, 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 and it just blends it right out. So these are absolutely essential brushes, I think, for any beginner, because they're going to just they're just going to help your technique. They're going to help the technique and they're going to speed up the process. So I love these brushes, definitely. So the last brush that I'm going to talk about are blending brushes. And as you can see here, I actually have two different blending brushes. Now as you can see here, now one of these are the Sedona Lace EB13, that's what this one is, and then this one is a tapered blending brush that I got out of the polka dot set from BH Cosmetics. Both of these are fantastic brushes, but what you'll notice here is the size and the shape difference. So while this one is a lot fuller, you see this has a bit more surface area, this one is also a little bit more dome shape. So this one comes to more of a point than this one. This one's a little bit more flat. Both of these brushes are fantastic for blending out, but what I found is that when I try to blend with this one has its place. Trying to apply color and blend with this is just, it's too big. It covers way too much space, and I end up coming out with these just blotchy, just blurry type of looks because everything just kind of blends together. Whereas whenever I use this nice smaller dome kind of tapered brush, I get a more precise application of color that I can blend a little bit better, and then I'll come in with this lastly and then blend all of it together just to kind of get rid of any harsh lines. And when I come in with this one, I don't have any product on it. It's just a clean brush, whereas I actually apply and blend with this one. So again, as you can see the difference, this one just much more tapered, much more dome shaped, and a little smaller, which is perfect for my hooded eyes. So definitely, you know, if you've got this one, try a smaller one. If you've got a smaller one, try a larger one, and you'll see that the combination of two just really they just work together, just a combo platter right here. So definitely get you two of these. So that's it, guys. Those are the game changers that this beginner thinks every beginner should have. I just feel like these particular tools have just really stepped up my game. They have really took this beginner to a different level, and that's huge because unfortunately they don't have the technique behind them. So for these tools to make me feel that way means they're just good tools all around. So definitely get your hands on these. I will put links down below. Like I said, they come in lots of different price ranges, so there's something in there for everybody. I really hope this information helps somebody else out there, and if it did, give this video a thumbs up. And while you're here on my channel, take a look around, see what else your girl has to offer, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.